This is an attempt to recreate a reading, a featured set that I presented at Bird and Beckett. This is my best recollection. I began with some haiku, but this is relative to the modern age of our current situation here. Building a planet, just possibly easier than fixing this mess. And from the personal memory vault, when tears fall and memories flicker, who are you? Who? And this returns to the politics of the moment. Actually, this goes back to Trump's first reign of terror. White House dilemma. Stage a first responder with the worst responder. And this is a bit of metaphysic and transcendent haiku writing at its best, I suppose. Sidewalks puddle, snowflakes and their reflections vanish together. And from a long time memory from my older sister and I at one point, her phone call, she brings up the cancer, letting me off the hook. And this back to the Trump era of unending errata. Story in the news. He says, what'll Trump do? I say, make it worse. True story. And this references both Trump and something called the Darwin Awards. If you're not familiar with that, this haiku may not make sense, but still, it's a worthy. Humpty Dumpty's MAGA mask protesters winning all their Darwin. Oh. And this is a bit on relationships and humor that is richly found in such considerations. If a man deep in the forest mansplains, does it matter? And these last two, I think, yes, these are the last two haiku of the set. Both political and transcendent in a sense. The parade, crowds cheer. The grim reaper waves, supporting everyone's troops. And this follows that, I believe. That's the concluding haiku of that set. Smoky battlefield, corpses strewn. Medallions glint. The long justice of silence. And then we moved into the poetry, and I believe this was the set, so hopefully I'm not too far off. This is an ode to death. This cold kiss, most Cyrus and dizzy. The finished flesh lay still and gray, falls off the bone. The skeleton, a trophy of scars. Its mask, dark sockets stare, wide smile, grinning jaws locked. And this is an old poem from way back in the 70s. Title is Red Juicy. Red Juicy. Cannibals eating meat. This jungle world, dog eat dog, rat race, their cancers, revolution, eating them out. Capitalists chewing fatty beef, waiting for the special of the day, working man's hands in a rich brown stew. And this more recently, back to the modern times. Title is Heather. Heather is a plant, something common enough, but useful, even valued for healing, for cleansing, refreshing one's living space. Something to be found in the cold wastes of winter, forage that shows itself above the frigid drifts, and so provides a lifeline to those in need. It takes hold in difficult ground, survives fire, thriving in its aftermath. But it is also a name, which, as any name does, affects its human, imbuing them with its qualities, whether the human knows it or not. It is sentimental, for example, white heather being given for bridal luck. So it is in Miss Heyer's case that her name proved itself in her feet when she walked the walk that day. But innocently, for all that, she did not see it coming, even at the very last. And when, as she lay broken, her passion spreading on display, but not in pain, having gone on before such could register, it was because all her life she'd found ways to make a difference for others. And so it was that by leaving this world as she did, she continued on that path for others in a way she could respect. Modern times, This one dovetails on that theme, but in a larger sense, as untitled. Why are they killed? It's a simple question, really, and today, at this tiny moment, I direct it to the Saudi government. But as you'll soon surmise, there are others holding into the short end of this shit stick. I ask the men there, why is it okay to kill their own mothers, sisters, daughters, or lovers for phoning, texting, driving, enjoying the sun on their faces, talking with a friend, for dreaming of a life made up from their preferences, their choices? What does having a sense of humor, laughing beautifully, or wanting the simple things in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, have to do with brutal assaults and murderous battery, rape, slavery, or an acid slap face? What is it about family honor? Why, when we hear of their moaning or mournful imprecations, do we not call their men out? How is it that we recuse ourselves and do not ride to their rescue? Is it because of their hijab? Where are the white hats? Yes, all they want are the simple things: freedom of the mind, justice for the soul, and unlimited peace in their feeling, emotional hearts. When will we reach out our hands? When will we answer our own big heart's unending call for love? Inquiring minds want to know. In supplication, I proffer these considerations, these notes to everyone I know. Amen. And I'm not sure that this was in the mix, but I like it, so I'm including it in this version of the mix. Approximation of friendship. Making one honestly true blue dragon would be amazing enough. But if your homework was to make a whole darned universe full of them, well, you'd be wanting help. But a wizard couldn't do it. You'd need a god, to whom this whole job would be like unto the movement of a sand grain, tiny and unseen, inadvertently strepped out over the doorsill. God's, not yours. Where it would become affixed to the pink goo on a lost watermelon seed that has been lying there in the dappled shade on the infinite back porch for some long time now. And although that story might go on and on, which it does, your phantom crisis would thus come to an end, and your head could settle into your fluffy pillow all comfy cozy. Sweet dreams would go a-dancing in your head, and your heart would ease into wonderful serenity. This is about time, another political thing, inexactly politic, but you'll see. Time comes and goes almost unnoticed, unremarkable, except for the changes we seem to think come and go with it. What a strange concept, which is to say, untrue. So much so that we'd have to invent the concurrence for our own sakes, not to mention those others. Now, magicians use this feat all the time, and we, the duped, ever and always find no end of fascination with what they have us see. Truth be damned. And I'll add this one in here. Puzzled words of love. Always forswear slander, wicked envy, vehemence, or to deceive, nor let dire discontent torment and tempt you. Wherefore? When you doth thus sanctify your manner, saying farewell to poisonous melancholy's mortal strike at one's bosom, methinks myself we thus bestow love unto our very dreams, bringing to a merry grace, light jest, and measured mercy. Friend, never therefore yield the fair breast. Vouchsafe it in full, lest death shalt thine only lover be. And two more short ones. Song of Light for Malala Yousafzai and friends. Sing of that light, hope and joy a gleam in her eyes. Sing of a girl who shed her blood on their lies. Sing of a girl whose words rang true. Sing of her light and her innocence too. Sing of the girl on a school bus one day. Sing of her sight, seeing the blindness in her way. Sing of that girl, that light within her soul. Sing of a girl who would live her life whole. Sing of the light, the soul of one girl. Sing of the changes she made in her worlds. The song of the soul is both eternal and great. It can't be put out. Never has been to date. And I believe I close with this one, a beautiful little poem on love. Longing spelled out. That's the title. In your eyes, I saw so much that one night. There was the moon in its crescent phase, with Jupiter off to the left, and there was Orion's belt glittering just below the slight galactic haze. It was all in there. As we embraced and our hearts beat with one another's, and there were whispers, warm breath gracing our cheeks, and how lips touching barely at first, slowly then found the name. Oh, the soft fingers twined. Silly, I know, but it was joyful. This, then, is when I forever fell in love with time. And I believe that was the set for the vast most part that I read. If there's errata, well, I'm doing this as an amends, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much.